This is the Long War. I'm Rob Baer, and joining me once again is my partner in crime, Kenny Boucher. What's up, dog?
Yo, dog, great to be here. It's always funny.
Yeah, they're like, I feel like we've been doing this for a while,
Me and
like
Rob,
10 years.
99 more seasons, 99 more episodes. Let's go.
It's true. I don't know. We're almost to episode 500, and that's just
Yeah,
on this show.
that's just on this show.
That's crazy.
We've been doing this for a
Was it?
hot minute.
Yeah, no, it's been good. It's been good. Um, I was thinking about it today. I never asked you about this, but actually, since they're coming back out in conjunction with Green Day, actually, were you a Garbage Pail Kid? Did you ever get into those?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you had the stickers and everything.
Garbage Pail Kid stickers all over my lunchbox.
They
Oh, yeah. And you know what I was
were
also
fun.
into at the time? Similar was those Mad Balls. Do you remember those?
Oh yeah,
Fucking loved those.
they were like squishy and shit,
Yeah.
and
They're
they
like
were like
Garbage Pail Kid stickers, but in a ball print. Like all messed up
yeah,
looking and
they
shit.
were like they were like this big,
Bro,
like
yeah, I fucking love
yeah.
those. Speaking of cool little things I love, let me get this out of the way. It's a big announcement. So I don't know if you guys have been following McDonald's Happy Meal toys.
Oh, what's in them now?
It's Sanrio Cross X with Ninja Turtles. So
What?
that's Hello Kitty franchise and Ninja Turtle franchise.
They like so so Hello Kitty did a Ninja Turtles run?
So it's like a mashup. So you have you have 12 Hello Kitty universe characters, Sanrio characters that are
Okay.
dressed as Ninja Turtles, or you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, so this is my life now.
Oh.
I need these. It's a big. That's those franchises are both a big deal around this house, and I have bought so many fucking Happy Meals in the last 48 hours, and I've got half the set, but I think that's all there is in my region until the next shipment.
Oh
So I put
no.
out a Facebook post about it. Put out an Instagram post about it. I need the Karomis, guys. I need the Karomi and the Bats Maru guy. Literally, if you're out there collecting these things too, or you happen to get a Happy Meal, you see one, or you have a double, hit me up on the social medias. I will literally do anything for those.
You know what that means when he says
OTP,
anything.
HJ, currency, straight up.
Maybe somebody in a different region. Maybe they're region locked, so maybe that'll be an easy fix.
Mm-hmm. I suspect they are.
Yeah. Um nice. I don't have any. Oh, I did get this. I got the Centos. I went and stood in line at my local GW store. It was a pleasant experience actually.
Yeah.
Um the gentleman came out and 10 minutes till 12. I got there a little too early. I thought they opened at 10, but they opened at 12. No big deal. Um and he counted people and he was like, "Oh cool, I got enough," and he asked everybody if what they were there for. And he's like, "Yeah, everybody in line, you're gonna get one." I like dope. And then we got inside and we were going, everybody went through the line and bought their stuff. And I got up to the register and he's like, "Hey Rob, good to see you." And I was like, "Oh hey man, have we met before?" I don't remember you. But I don't think
Wyatt
we met
Turk is in
before.
chat, of course. Jack Clispin, he says, I thought they had to invite Robin to the GW like a Dracula.
No, no. I just walked in just like everybody else. And
Yeah.
it was good. It was 45 bucks. I got my Centos. I guess he's going for like 100 bucks on
You know,
eBay right
that's
now.
a fun little experience though, right? Like that's neat.
Yeah, it
It's
was.
not all adversarial GW talk here.
No, I mean for what it was a very well run event. He did a nice little speech talking about all the stores, the celebration, and um, you know, uh everybody was there wasn't no problems. Like it was super smooth, which was nice because I heard some other stores didn't get quite as many. I guess he had 34. I think is what he said. So I pulled up 10 minutes till. I was like, you know what? if it looks like it's gonna happen, I'll get in line. If not, I'm gonna keep on moving. And yeah, it worked out.
Oh yeah,
So
I'm
I
setting
was
up the
happy.
Q&A right now.
Okay.
Uh, so we can stay on topic, guys. I'm gonna copy paste Q&A in chat. It's just a combination of some show notes. Maybe 40K is suffering from explosive expansion. Is it still growing because of strength or just momentum? Is 40K just rolling downhill? Like this whole idea is the Q&A. And I'm just gonna
I
spam
definitely have
that.
some thoughts. Some
I'm
thoughts.
gonna spam that a little bit in chat. So feel free to hit me with Q&As. That I'll snipe them out and populate a sheet with them. So, as we move toward that section of the show. And as far as news goes, Rob, do you have news other than the main talking point?
Yeah, I got plenty of stuff to talk about. So I just talked about Centos there. I did want to mention too that GW specifically in their post said that this would be the first time he's available is at the Warhammer whatever this was, the store 200, 600, I forget, details. But so basically, read between the lines, he might be available at LVO. He might be available at Adepticon. We kind of saw that happen unexpectedly with some of the other stuff. I've even seen some of the show only miniatures popped up in Warhammer World too. So he could show up anywhere, or this might be it. Who knows? I don't know. But you know, is it worth spending $100 for? I don't know. That's your call. But it is a cool little miniature. I am gonna open it up and put it together and unbox this little guy here. I meant to do it already, but time. Why does it punish me? So yeah, pretty dope. I did want to talk about the final judgment. So on Thursday of last week, Games Workshop received the final judgment on their big lawsuits, I guess, against 161 sellers. So it's basically official. I published a whole list of every seller that was on it according to the clerk, which didn't match the actual PDF from what they had filed, which was really weird because there's some different business names on there, and some of them we know and we've talked about in the past. So I don't know what the deal is with that, but I wasn't going to censor it. And I went ahead and put it out. If they publish a correction, I'll go back and correct it, I guess. But I haven't seen one yet. So either way, that basically equates to, in theory, they could go after like $10.2 million against a lot of these companies. Now, do they exist? Will they ever be able to find them? Maybe. Um, but more importantly, in the 4 pages of like what it all means is they have to cease and desist immediately. They cannot ever, retail the stuff using Games Workshop marks. The platforms can actually take over the stores and delete them. It's wild the amount of power they were given by this U.S. court against mostly international sellers. So I don't get all the legality on that, but it's a done deal. It's finalized according to a U.S. court, and uh, yeah, it's pretty wild. um, but anyways, so that's just another drop in the GW litigation bucket there. Uh, Also, something that was kind of curious, I thought, was Games Workshop, and nobody really cares about Age of Sigmar at this point. They've basically soft admitted, at least the sales reps, to a lot of larger accounts that Sigmar's dying on the vine, and it didn't help that they, split the whole Sigmar community with Warhammer or Old World, in January of 2024. I don't know why. You think they'd be smarter than that, but now they're like, "Oh, Sigmar isn't doing well." Yeah, it probably isn't. Um, Dope models, just it's a whole can of worms there. But I do want to mention that they previewed a Soulblight Grave Lord Spearhead at Adepticon. It never came out. The actual release was the old Spearhead. Well, they transformed it from a Vanguard box to a Spearhead box. Don't really know where the Death Rattle box is. Never came out. As a matter of fact, on Games Workshop's website, if you look up Soulblight Gravelord Spearhead, you can't find it. And the only place it's listed is actually under the Spearhead category. So if you search for it, you can't find it. If you look under Soulblight Gravelords, you can't find it. But if you look under the Spearhead category, you can find it. What does this mean? I don't know. I feel like if they're laying off the editor of White Dwarf magazine, maybe they don't really have an editor for their web store or somebody in charge of that, because the fact that that somehow made its way through sales, forecasting, the actual web store, where they previewed one thing, but they put out another thing, and then the other thing isn't even listed right on their website, just seems like a systematic breakdown across multiple departments. And I think that's the complaint of a lot of people out there right now, is it doesn't seem like these departments are talking to each other, or things are even getting done right. And especially when you see a lot of folks wanted the Lord of Poxes and maybe the Slaughterbound, maybe not the Slaughterbound, but you've got people selling 50, 60 of them on their eBay accounts. We're not even sure how that is even possible when they're allocated to three after the battle forces were allocated to three. It simply does not make any sense at all. Like it doesn't make any sense. And it's basically pushing, like, it's very easy to 3D print one miniature. One miniature that's the only new release for a whole faction. Like, come on. The simplest way to solve this equation is for people to just print their own models.
Yeah.
And it couldn't be any simpler for folks. And I don't feel bad about it. Like, why would
You know how
people
we've
fight to get these?
always commented on that? Like,
Mhm.
3D printing, GW needs to be way in front of that if they cared about the miniatures. I'm starting to
Exactly.
think they don't care about it, and they're just going to let us sort it out ourselves as they care less and less about selling us minis and more about selling their license.
Now there's going to be, I mean, on the licensing side, there's going to be some dips, but eventually it's going to go like this, and then just because that's just the way it's headed. GW is the prettiest girl in the licensing prom. I don't know if we talked about this, but they crossed the
Yeah, you
top
said top
50
50 or something like that.
Yeah. Yep. So I mean, we're talking big brands. Like this is big news. All right. So we talked about that systematic breakdown across departments. Um, a little bit of cooler hobby news is the Goblin Hobby stampers came back into stock. So if you missed out on the initial starter set or the expansions, they are back in stock over at their website, so you can order those. They're pretty neat. I definitely recommend it because freehand is for the birds. If you don't have to, why not? War Senior also put out their United Empire Tal themed 40K STL Kickstarter today. It's pretty good offering there. If you remember the old White Dwarfs with that really cool Tau themed terrain, it's basically the same thing, and they got some tall auxiliary models too, which GW never really put out. So that's cool. Oh, I actually ordered this morning. The Barnes Noble's link for the Kill Team starter set, which is only $50 and comes with a bunch of the Death Guard Space Marine heroes and the last run of Space Marine heroes. I guess technically they're Warhammer heroes, including the captain, which sold for like $50, I think, last time I looked. That actually went up for order. There's no picture. You can find the link on our article, but it does work. I did order it. It was only $50. I think it was like 53. It's free shipping, 53 with tax. I'll let you know if it actually comes in, but they are orderable, and I went ahead and ordered it because why not? You gotta spend money to save money. Joy Toy also put out some pretty cool releases. The highlights of which, for me at least, were the new Perturabo Primarch Horus Heresy figure.
Oh,
Action
that's your
figure was
dude.
it is my dude.
That's your fucking guy. Anybody listening to this podcast doesn't know. That's Rob is Iron Within, Iron Without all day or day. That's his shit.
I've been accused of many things, including that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was pretty excited about that one. They also put out the new sculpt of Cypher too, which looks pretty dope. I think that was actually today, maybe, or yesterday. I don't know. Time is irrelevant at this point. So that was pretty cool. So if you need a hot Joy Toy fix, there's plenty of and of course Sanguinary Guard for Blood Angels. But I know the internet's very opinionated about the new sculpts. But they are
Just a
also
bunch of handsome jacked men with a dark secret, dude.
they sure are. We talked about my conspiracy theory for Legion Imperialis. I put out the editorial last week, and judging by the comments, a lot of people kind of agreed with our little pattern recognition exercise on how Games Workshop quietly gets rid of game systems. Um, so it was kind of interesting to see in the comments, like, "Yep, that checks out." I'm like, "Oh, I guess it does." Very sad. So yeah, I think it's dead man walking, unfortunately. But we'll probably see some hobby articles and maybe some paint guides and the official like, oh, we're turning it into nothing, or we'll still support it. Here's some narrative scenarios. Thanks for all the fish. I don't know. Who knows? At this point, nothing surprises me from them. Um, the meta, of course, well, the meta is the meta. It's pretty much the same as it's always been till we get a points adjustment for Death Guard. I don't really know what they can do about the knights. Maybe 4 knights in a list is too much. Maybe not. Either way, they need to readjust something there, probably from the looks of it. But they are playing gatekeeper for a lot of things out there, so we'll see how that goes.
I mean, the last time
And
this happened, early ninth, when we were
okay,
able to like when we got the first Chaos Knight Codex. Was that, I think it was ninth, where we were
mm,
running like triple thermal knights.
yeah, I remember that.
Was that end of eighth or early ninth?
I think end of eighth
Maybe end of eighth.
because they were like neg 6 or something. Mm,
I just remember like they were so equitable, right? And so mathematically nonsensical, like the way you could work warlord traits and everything like that,
hmm.
and the way you could sneak them into like a chaos list with a bunch of other goodies.
Oh yeah.
Like I remember it being like just so powerful, bro. Like it was like, dude, I'm definitely getting away with something I shouldn't be getting away with right now. You know what I'm saying? Like just having three of them ain't still backed up by a huge force, right?
Right.
So like four, oof, four is an issue.
Yeah. Splash in Cadence Strikes is getting splashed a lot too. Excuse me.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, but it's always exciting. I like it when this happens. Like I like it when I like the ebb and flow of OPness.
Hmm.
Like that keeps shit exciting for me. Like shoot far and hard and then rein it back. The worst thing in game design for 40k we've seen is when they just throw out a limp noodle because now there's no data. If no one's playing the limp noodle or any of the units in the limp noodle, we don't know what's exactly wrong with the limp noodle because there's no data. So you have to make it
Yeah.
kind of exciting. That's always been the best shit. Make it too good. Let us fucking dominate. Let us go nuts with that shit. Let us have that fun, and then rein it back. And usually you end up with the most well-adjusted books after that kind of. So as long as the book has like a deep roster, like a lot of options, it seems to like kind of settle itself out. But knights have been at the center of controversy since they were invented. No
Oh, they sure
strangers.
have.
Their position as the gatekeeper has been pretty well established in this hobby, and now they're back.
For now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, there's going to be some sort of change or update in September, probably after Nova Open, because, or maybe, about now, and then people will have 2 weeks to adjust for Nova Open. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at the submission dates.
Oh, and even Easy
But
Peasy said thoughts on the Hellstorm event introducing restrictions on Knights and Death Guard. Supposedly, the event imposed rules on one big knight, Chaos Knight, and rule of 2 for Death Guard, bar and battle line. That's totally fine. Me and Rob come from an era where all events had their own rules, their own scenarios, their own terrain, and that's what made it exciting. Was you had to play to the event, to that specific set of rules.
yeah, we can definitely talk more about that.
No issues with that. That's totally fine. But yeah, so is that it for news?
Yeah, that's all I got.
All right. Let's take a quick commercial break. Hear from some of our sponsors, and then let's crack open this big Lone Star Open controversy. And we're back.
I feel like we didn't really go anywhere.
We did not. Somebody the other day was watching this for the first time after having listened to our podcast for years. They were like, "You guys just sit there for the commercial break? You guys don't actually take a break?"
No, man, we're trying to get done.
No, man, we're trying to do our job, bro. I gotta edit this bitch tonight. Like, ain't no breaks on this bus.
We already been working all day.
So here's the thing: Lone Star Open already had a controversy.
Yeah, before the event even happened,
right? Which we spoke on, which was another player who is notoriously disliked by the community, especially the Texas community, who's been caught doing shady shit and being combative and confrontational, borderlining on physical.
Sounds exhausting,
right? And so we already had a whole controversy with that. You can go back a couple episodes and listen to that. So, and now the event has actually happened. Apparently, Carmona, which his name has actually come up on this podcast before. Not the first time. I've actually played the guy more than once. I've been in many tournaments where he was at. Played, I actually know this guy. And so he's at the center of a controversy, which is even stickier for Frontline Gaming, because he is a employee of Frontline Gaming.
Yeah, that's a problem.
So that's a problem. And so this, first off, let's just say how exhausting this must be for Frontline Gaming.
Jake. Or Frontline in
Jake
general.
For sure, right? He's out there writing these statements and stuff like that. That's got to be exhausting. First off, as an event organizer, that sucks, right? Now, obviously, we're going to speak to like how this can these problems could just go away, right? These problems never actually have to happen again if you don't want them to. But that sucks. That sucks to work your ass off, feel really proud of something, and then have it like completely ruined. And then have the absolute shitstorm that has now resulted in this. But the way he feels is probably less significant than how all the players who attended the event feel, which there is a absolute lot of people talking about on Reddit, the Facebook group, and more. So let's just go ahead first and just talk about real quick. And this isn't even like accusations. This is what happened. Okay. And so I'm trying to bring up, can you go back to the Facebook group, Rob? Do you have that power fast and read,
I do.
Carmona's,
I published it on the site.
His statement. Can you read his statement for us?
Yeah.
Yeah. Carmona is not the Texas guy, just Flux, Los Angeles guy.
Okay, so he says, I cannot apologize enough. I found out that I cheated every single one of my opponents at Lone Star Open. I played the entire event with a Hellbrute that was not on my list. All 6 rounds. I'm not making any excuses. Completely my fault. So embarrassed, and it kills me to know that both my opponents and all the other attendees were affected by my inability to put models on the table that matched my list. Goes without question that I'm dropping from the event standings, and I submit myself to the scrutiny of both FLG and the community as a whole. I'm disgusted with myself, and I understand if you feel the same way.
So he took some accountability, right? I mean, which is the amount of accountability we can all expect, right? He didn't say I deliberately played with a Hellbrute. He didn't say that, right?
No.
He didn't say I deliberately played with a Hellbrute. He's saying, or at least hinting at, I accidentally ran a Hellbrute, right?
No, he owned it. I mean,
Phrase it again.
he used some strong language there.
Yeah, let's hear it again.
He said, "I'm disgusted with
No, that's the
myself."
final. I'm proud of him for saying that, but like during the
Oh,
meat of that, did he say I deliberately cheated all my opponents by including an extra Hellbrute? Or did he say I accidentally included it? Let's see. I want to disseminate his
uh,
words.
he says, it kills me to know that both my opponents and all the other attendees were affected by my inability to put models on the table that match my list."
So yeah. So here's the thing. So he's taking some accountability. Now, you either believe him or you don't. That's where you're at anytime
I
somebody
mean,
makes
yeah,
that straight up. So you either believe the guy or you don't. Some people say
right.
he did it on purpose. Some people are saying it was an accident. And either way, it's wrong, right? And so we, it's an unprovable motive, right?
Yeah, which came first? All right.
Uh, which we call passive cheating, when it's like which famously
Mm-hmm.
people have included like plasma pistols in their army lists or extra this or extra war gear, whatever it is, right? Passive cheats can't be proven because that's based on intent. So there are floor rules now. There are protocols for stuff like that. So essentially, what you end up with is a list that's 130 points over. And when you look at his list, you see that that's the Hellbrute, right? Which is a buffing tool, which is significantly strong. Now, here's
Yeah.
I normally try to be somewhat diplomatic in this at this step. The guy just said, "I'm disgusted with myself, and you have every right to be too."
Yeah. Yeah.
So he has opened himself up to scrutiny, and he's essentially said to me he welcomes the criticism and the punishment. Right. So
That's what it reads like. Yeah.
so you have authorized me, Carmona, to be real, dog. And so your own words, homie. Kara Quinn said, I've interacted with him quite a bit. He's kind of abrasive, but I don't think he's a cheater, in my opinion. I don't know how you make the mistake as a veteran player, though. That's a pretty good assessment of how I feel about the guy, right?
Mm.
Insanely abrasive. I know people who literally refuse to play him. Very combative, very vocal, very loud when
No
things aren't going
fun.
his way. And when he's trying to advocate for himself on the table and he's trying to get his edge, he doesn't back down. And it's incredibly off putting. I've had conversations with the cat, where I'm like, hey, man, how you doing? You seem happy this year. Like, he's like, yeah, I took a break for 40K. It really wasn't good for my mental health. I've heard him admit to me off the books that, like, he was
Mm.
aware that he had a problem, like, on the table. So, like, it's known, and even to himself, and he did say he's disgusted himself, and he expects us to be too. So, yeah, as a veteran player, bro, like, you're top tier, bro. Like, that dude is a top tier player. Very difficult for me to believe that your inability to put models on the table that match your list is really the story. But I also don't expect anybody in today's day and age to just own up, because when people own up, I don't see any difference between them just taking it to the grave. So you either believe them or you don't. But as Kara Quinn said, kind of hard to believe that a veteran player will make that mistake. What do you think, Rob?
Well, okay. Here's where I'm at with it. Like, first of all, if you're making if and I don't lean one way or the other, like, because I have no personal experience with this individual, and but I can tell you, if you're making that kind of mistake for 6 rounds and don't realize it, that maybe you got too much going on in your life. To me, just outside observer, like, slow the fuck down. Like, you got too much going on. If you didn't get playtest games in, you didn't have your shit dialed
But he
in.
did,
eh,
right? Like,
But
he's a veteran player. He played this shit out of his list.
that's what I don't get. Like, maybe he changed it last second. Like,
But a
I don't
Hellbrute
quite
is a
understand it.
buffing unit for chaos, bro. Like,
No,
you're using it intimately. It's 6 inch
I
bubbles
understand.
of sustain, and you know I mean, it's very crucial unit. I
No,
have
I
one on my
get it.
list.
So it's a very interesting place to be, and I think me personally, reading that or seeing that statement, I would have felt better if it was like, hey man, I'm gonna take some time off. Like I need to get my shit straight. Like because like when do you play again? Because now there's gonna be a lot of scrutiny on this individual. There's gonna be a lot of scrutiny on the event. Maybe there's gonna be a lot of scrutiny before the event, and people are gonna brigade him to the event to not let him play.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's turning into a whole
Well,
thing
which is
right now.
important, which is why we're talking about, which is important, right? So we read his statement and we know how
Yeah,
we feel about this guy, right? Like we understand for especially two players who've been in and broiled in our own controversies and had to make our own press statements in the past and had to like go on our own apology tours. We know that accidents happen.
sure.
And you either
There's
believe the
no
guy,
perfect
so,
game of 40K,
yeah. So
first of
let's
all.
say take the guy at face value, it's an accident. Okay. So let's because there's more to this story that makes it so controversial. It's not just another
Yeah,
guy got
and then more comes out.
it's
Yeah.
not just that another guy got caught cheating at 40K. There's more. So Jake just put out Frontline Gaming just put out their official response today, even though they did respond, but not in not in a totally formal capacity on their Facebook. Their official statement came out just a little while ago. Shout out to Wyatt for throwing it up here. Frontline Gaming statement, following the conclusion of Lone Star Open, it was determined that a player had included an additional model in play that was not listed in their submitted army roster. Under long-standing FLG event policy, this type of rules violation does not automatically result in suspension from Frontline Gaming events. However, it does warrant dropping to last place for the event, the awarding of 0 ITC points, and the issuance of a red card in recognition
Fair.
of the situation and to protect the integrity of the competition. The player has chosen to voluntarily step away from competitive play at events for at least 1 year. The head judge has updated the official Lone Star Open 2025 standings accordingly. Frontline Gaming remains committed to upholding the highest standards of fairness, consistency, and sportsmanship in all of our events, ensuring every competitor enjoys a level and transparent playing field.
So I'm troubled by that statement a bit because I don't feel like it was their place to say that this player is taking a break. I feel like he should have been like, yo, dog, I fucked up. I'm taking a year off. If he had won, he should have shipped his trophy out to whoever had won it.
They're saying the guy voluntarily did. They're saying Carmona
Yeah.
voluntarily stepped away from the.
But why didn't he say that? That's what I don't get. Like,
Well,
own your own shit, dog.
This is where we get embroiled, Rob. Carmona works for Frontline Gaming. He's their employee.
Yeah, of course
bro.
he does.
So they talked about this. They obviously had a phone call, man. You know, I'd imagine that I have no data. I tried to get some off the record and on the record statements. I couldn't. I have no data, but I would imagine that phone call was something like this. Carmona, what the fuck, dude? Right? What the fuck, man?
Yep.
Like, I'm not like, according to our rules, I can't just ban you, but dude, you're banned. And he's like, okay, I'm banned. All right. You're banned, motherfucker. You're for a year. He's like, yep. And we're going to say it was voluntary. He's like, that's fair. Imagine, totally fake and anecdotal. I'm making this up, but I imagine it was something like that. How do you feel about that?
I feel like the optics would have looked a little bit better if dude had owned it himself and been like, yo, my bad. I'm taking some time off. Instead of having Frontline Gaming have to be like anecdotally like, oh, the player has decided that he's taking some time off. Like, dude, own your shit. Own your shit. Like this world, think of how much better this world would be if you just owned your shit. Like across the board, it would be so much better as like relations to each other. Just own your shit, man. Be like, yeah, I need to take some time off. My bad. And that's what I would have liked to see personally, because I've done it. And like, it wasn't even a question. It wasn't even like, oh shit, I really fucked up. You know what? Yeah, maybe it was a little like discrepancy with these two different army builders, GWs and Battlescribe at the time, I think it was. But you know what? At the end of the day, it was on me to double check my list, and that's on me. And I'm not, I'm done. Like, I'm gonna take some time off.
Here's the thing: we saw very recently when TJ Lanigan got caught on camera.
Yeah.
He wrote a press release where he admitted to cheating. He saw the infractions that he was were caught on film. He's like, no, that's just an accident. That's an accident. But yeah, you're right. I did fucked up. I did cheat there. So he's one of the only guys I've ever heard say like, yeah, I cheated. Everyone hates him, dude. Nobody's forgiven him. Everyone treats him like shit. And it's like, so what I've learned is that there is absolutely no reason to come clean. There's no reason to own it. Like I have not seen any circumstance where that is in our hobby where that is the case. So like, why would someone come totally clean and own their shit if they were a notorious, if they were going to cheat, if that's already how important the game was, which you mentioned earlier. You know, with some of these like really competitive players and some of these like coaching groups showing up, we've already seen some issues crop up with like kind of winning at all costs because now your brand is tied to your wins. And now your money and revenue are tied to your wins. So there's that whole other bag of worms. But let's stay on topic. Frontline gaming is coming under incredible scrutiny based on that statement you already took some issue with. And the comments have not been kind as of 45 minutes ago.
No, not at all.
Like,
no, not at all.
People are saying shit like, this is why I'm never going to go to a Frontline gaming event again. No integrity. Done with competitive play. Like, I mean, it is crazy. Like, I'm not, okay, crazy is not, like, it's understandable. It's actually understandable. It's understandable.
I don't know. The internet always seems to say a lot of things on forums and stuff, which may or may not be entirely true. I think individual opinion really doesn't matter personally when it comes to stuff like this, but trends, like if you see 100 of the same comment, that's a trend, that's a problem. But if you see remember, Facebook's going to show you what's going to piss you off the most and get you to engage with it, which is usually something that's going to piss you off. So make sure you hit that button to look at all the comments, because again, you're seeing what Facebook wants you to see in a lot of cases, unless you go out of your way to not. And same with Reddit. Actually, Reddit, I don't even think has a way to see all the comments.
Yeah, they filter it based on stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, which I don't agree with at all.
They're doing that. They're doing that on some Instagram reels too now.
Oh boy, don't even get me started about Instagram right now.
But that's a good point.
So feature.
The thing is that these comments I'm saying is that they're understandable. Like, I understand why somebody, because right now Frontline Gaming, this hobby's big now. Frontline Gaming is the NFL.
Yeah.
Right. Like, they are the big show, and for them to have two controversies inside of one calendar month,
exhausting.
Their own employee, who's not even the first time his name has come up in controversy, come up again. Mm-hmm. That's a huge blow to their brand. That's a huge blow to their brand. And like I said, between Reddit, oof, not kind. Facebook, as of 45 minutes ago, extremely negative. Their earlier posts wasn't so negative. It was like 50-50. But it is a lot of people are voicing their concerns and their opinions with competitive play, with Frontline Gaming showing a lack of integrity. A lot of people are calling for a much bigger ban. Like, everyone wants a lifetime ban. Everyone wants all that stuff.
Well, that's great. Good for them. Like, good for people wanting things that they have zero opinion about. At the end of the day, there's a published policy that they have to like follow, but somebody just like arbitrarily like, I want a lifetime ban. No, you're being a child. Like,
actually, let me interrupt you real quick. Ian just commented, I guess I missed this. Frontline Gaming is claiming on the same Facebook post in the comments that he is actually not an employee. He's just a member of their competition team. So I just want to state that.
Okay, sure.
I want to put that
I
out
feel like
there.
either way, you're affiliated in some way there,
So I just don't
sure.
want to
But
be misquoted over and over again saying he's an employee. He's an employee. He's an employee. If he's not an employee and he's a member of the competition team, I
mm,
understand how teams can get away from you too, but a close affiliation,
yes.
but also details matter.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, so I mean, at the end of the day, the policies have to be followed. It's an exhausting situation for frontline gaming for sure. But I think the internet like calling for blood, like, dude, there's due process. Like everybody's innocent until proven guilty. I mean, technically he's guilty for sure, like of whatever. But like at some point, people just gotta. Here's what I don't get: why are people not this passionate about all the shenanigans that Games Workshop does? Literally, like fucking over game store owners' like lives with their inability to provide merchandise. Like, I just don't get it. Like, I don't get why people are more passionate about this than the fact that all these games are being played behind the scenes with our hobby like it's some sort of like shareholder bingo.
No,
And I don't know. I'm
no.
just frustrated by
One
the
of Wyatt's
whole.
points in chat is like the issue is that it's not the length of the ban; it's just that there was no ban. It was a voluntary ban, right? And so that's something
Mm,
that I actually uh, was curious to see what the floor rules said about this type of infraction. And sure enough, it's not a ban worthy of infraction to be overpointed on a list, which but that's what he technically is guilty of. And
w-
and so
w-
that, but you realize now that there is like kind of an issue with that wording because this feels different than you were overpointed. This feels like you include an entirely additional unit in your list and try to fly under the radar, a very powerful unit, not a couple of plasma pistols, not 5 points over because you had some word gear. Like literally, this unit that I couldn't fit in my list, I'm just going to play and no one's going to question me on. That's how it felt. So
mm.
if the floor rules don't ban people for that, they should update them because that is pretty severe. That's clearly a different category of overpointed, right?
Well, maybe that's the solution here is to update the floor rules to take into account things like this. Um, I mean, clearly, I mean, officially, I guess they did what, give him a yellow card or something or some such.
You got a red card for
Uh,
this, but Wyatt also brings up he also broke the list submission rules, and when you break the list submission rules, you're supposed to get a yellow card. You start the event with a yellow card, and he didn't,
that's a problem.
which brings up a lot of other. Like I said, there's multiple sides to this thing that some people have accused him of having a unfair leg up and preferential treatment at some frontline gaming events. And so
Well,
now there is that discussion that is also occurring online. So the bird's nest
yeah.
of
Mhm.
controversy continues to expand. You see,
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, you can make any sort of accusation and things like that, but unless somebody like literally goes back and like researches this and shows everything, like, hey, here's where he missed the list submission date, here's where he should have got a yellow card. Like, you have to timeline it. You can't just like make a bunch of comments and be like, well, he did this here and he did that there and that. And let
I
you
think.
got to point to these things.
See, I
And
think the
one,
issue is that they can, and they're
oh, well, then
encouraged,
that's even better.
and they're encouraged to. So
Hmm.
it kind of distorts. It's designed to make us hot. It's designed to make us hot. You're right. Laying it all out is very different, right? Guy has a track record of having preferential teammate and skipping punishment throughout
Well,
the
that's a
history
problem.
of LA and playing in frontline game events. He wasn't even punished for known infractions at the event. Uh, was barely punished after the event. So it creates an accountability track record that we're gonna have to see what happens and if frontline gaming can survive continued infractions like this and scrutiny like this because a lot like it can't keep happening, bro. Like it can't keep happening. There's other players in town, there's other event organizers in town, there's other event organizations in town. Like, I don't believe you can afford to be this preferential toward people or this unwilling to just change the rules on the fly and be a dictator. Because that's kind of what you needed from this. You know, you need a guy in your floor room paperwork who is like Judge Dredd.
Yeah, you do need somebody that's incredibly impartial, because otherwise it situations like this are going to arise. I mean, they arise with GW when GW people play. They arise when influencers for Games Workshop have access to the rules early and then play in events with early knowledge. And we've talked about that in the past. Like there's a lot of stuff here that happens that it's kind of like I don't know about that, and it's going to continue to happen unless you address it in a clear manner, clear and concise manner, because it feels a little waffly reading the statements. And but again, I haven't done the research on it. I don't know the floor policies and the yellow cards and the red cards and who's supposed to get what when, because I got 100 other things to worry about, to be quite honest with
Well, I
you.
mean, and
But
also to be frank, Frontline Gaming did a great thing when they invented floor rules, but they barely enforced them for years.
yeah,
So,
I
like,
remember there was something where like some guy was playing with a 2-up save on his crisis suits at like Cherokee, and then he did it like twice, and then even GW let that guy just walk through their event at
I've been
Tacoma.
at events where they were really strict with the cards, and it was a different feeling because it feels like you're at a sporting event, right? Like, it's different, right? Like, okay, in front, like when
Hmm.
punishment is handed out in real time, effectively, penalties, it actually matters. So I've seen it actually work really well in person. It's just that it's not consistent across the board, and it never has been. So I want to do some Q&A, but that's essentially, in a nutshell, the situation, the Frontline Gaming Carmosa situation. They have a big thread on their Facebook page, Frontline Gaming Facebook page, and there's a huge thread
Hmm.
on Reddit. And I do want to jump into some. We had some great comments for the Q&A. Let me see. Do I have? I want to pay. If you guys have any more Q&A on this topic, throw it up now. But there's a few good ones, and this is
Hmm.
this is relative, or
Okay.
this is really good. Mitchell Kane, he said, Rob, it's the player's responsibilities to provide a fair game. It's basic sportsmanship. If you're showing up to play at an FLG event, a high level event, I think people should know their list and their rules. You've
Sure.
put through in your that you've put thought in your list and considered every unit you choose to add. I can't buy that you just accidentally put a big model on the field. How do you feel about that statement?
I mean, that's a fair opinion based on the facts and these are high end competitive folks, and it seems like an incredible oversight once you start really kind of humming about it, right? I get it.
Facts. Let me get to Wyatt threw one up earlier that I thought was really good too.
Hmm.
Let me throw that in there. Uh, 40K is still growing healthy. Event numbers are up. New events are happening all the time. In regards to
Hmm.
the controversy, I think the growth is part of the problem that we are seeing with Backlash, because in other games like Magic the Gathering, players who break rules or cheat, etc., are handled by the TOs and banned. Whereas in 40K, people know who the cheaters are and want the TOs to handle stuff, but the TOs don't. People tend to know who makes mistakes and who's doing the stuff cheatsy.
Let's see. Hmm.
Comment on that. How do you feel about that?
Um, I think the policies need to get followed as written. Like, why then? What's the point of having them if they're not giving out these cards and not
But do you think they
enforcing
should?
them?
Yeah, for sure. Because Magic just does it, right?
Yeah.
They just do it. And the problem is it seems like people are kind of unwilling to throw out yellow cards and red cards. Uh,
Well, it's twofold, because people want their event to do well and they want people to come back to their event and they don't want to trigger the drama. So in a lot of cases, maybe the organizers might be a little passive when it comes to that sort of thing, just because being in the limelight isn't for everybody, I suppose. But if you've gone through all that work to actually create an event and promote it and run it, then yes, you have it's part of the game. Like you have to enforce things. If you have a brand, a platform, you have to police the comments and police what's being said on all those platforms. Even everybody's come out and said that Twitch, all of them. Hey, you got to get rid of the bad actors on there, and it's the same when it comes to this. Like you got to get rid of the bad actors, and you have to address them.
Well,
and
that
if you
brings me to
don't,
KR Quinn makes a good point, kind of relative to some of the stuff you were just saying about like passive
mhm,
tournament organizers and they're trying to make people happy. KR Quinn says, yeah, events cost people money and more importantly,
yeah,
time. They need hard rules and punishments. Integrity is important. So it seems like if you're too caught up in making everyone happy, you lose integrity.
if you're in business to keep people happy, you are not going to be in business very long. Like there's a difference between catering to people and keeping them happy, and
Pandering.
yes, pandering, or just doing what you say and being accountable, because you can't solve every problem that comes across your desk, but you can do your very best, and that's really all you got to do is don't pander, because stuff like this is kind of what happens.
That's right. Wyatt Turk just said if events handled their shit, the internet probably would never hear about drama.
That too.
Right. So let's go back to here's a great one. DS over on YouTube said, "Why are your takes so bad, Spiky Bits?"
Why are these comments so predictable? I don't know. Pick one.
It's funny because when I replied to the guy, it was as you. And I was like, "Good one." Made the Q&A.
There you go.
Gotta get one. Oh, Kara Quinn had another good one. I forgot. It says, relative to our actual topic, it's growing because it's a great repository of lore, a good game that's actually social, and amazing hobby to work on. Clickbait
Sure.
titles everywhere on social media, but a minority actually read or watch this shit, in my opinion. That's kind of like, so remember, we were talking about, is the game growing because of it's an unstoppable momentum, or how big is it getting, or is it going downhill? So I actually think that's actually pretty well stated. Like it's growing because it's dope, and people aren't necessarily actually reading things, and social media causes drama.
Well, I mean, that's all the algorithms do now, is show you what's going to get a reaction out of you, and it's incredibly unhealthy. Um, and also everybody's like whole like topics of conversation has changed. It's all like FGW and GW did this, what, and very sensationalized on all the different platforms. And I'm like, yes, I know we have a lot to say about Games Workshop, but we've been doing it for a number of years, and we can always back up what we have to say. It isn't just like GW's trash, going out of business tomorrow. Like, but the tide has shifted to where that is the topic, and that is the zeitgeist for people talking about things on the internet. And it's funny because it cycles through, and it hasn't been any louder than it is right now. And when this starts happening, we actually backtrack and we start, putting out content that is, more informational and more about the hobby in general, to kind of, be more useful. Than, I mean, we still do a few editorials here and there because they just can't help themselves with the stuff they're doing, and I like to try to hold them accountable. And I don't know what good it does, but it's just a weird place right now when it comes to social media. I've been accused of clickbaiting, rage baiting. My thumbnails suck because they're just trying to get people to, and that is literally what everyone else is doing across the board on all platforms right now. It's just how things
You
work.
wait till you see the thumbnail used on this.
Oh please, I can't
It's on
wait.
YouTube right now.
Oh, I'll have to
So
go check.
these are the last two I'm gonna do before we're out of time. Mind you, my hobbies tuned in. It was two, but I'm gonna combine them into one. Mind you, my hobby says you can definitely keep people happy and run a successful company. You just
Sure.
also have to know when to fire the wrong customers. Can't be afraid to say
Yep.
no if it keeps your values straight.
Right. Yeah, if you've done everything you can to try to sort out the situation and it's just not good enough for the people in question, then you've done your due diligence and there's nothing else to be done. Um, I get that. You know, that's very true.
Last one, easy peasy lemon squeezy. As the hobby of Warhammer continues to grow and more incidents of cheating occur, when should be the what should be the boiling point where definitive action will be taken where bans or suspensions would occur? So yeah, like the hobby's growing super fast. We're gonna see there's probably the same amount of cheating has always been there. It's probably just now more visible and more scrutinized because we're watching more. As the popularity, kind of like I feel that from his statement. But the question is like, when is that line drawn that like bans occur? I think most people would have a completely different answer. Like some people would say one thing, some people would say another. But at the very least, I would like to just see like you're out of here, like umpire style. You know what I mean? Like just fucking out of here. Like I'm not banning you for a year. I'm not banning you for fucking. I might be banning you this whole weekend. I'm banning you for the day. You're out of here, right? Get the fuck out of here. And so you're zeroed for the rest of the day. I'll see you in the morning. How you like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, give me some of
I
that.
like that.
Give me some of that. And that's why floor rules are great, but also we need an umpire, someone who can like be slightly above the rules. You know what I mean? And just like, I know what I'm seeing here. I can't prove it, but you're garbage. Get the fuck out of here.
That would be something. Maybe that's what we need. We just need a very strong hand to or like a committee, like a
No, we do need a
non-playing
committee, but again, we
committee.
need someone who's like Judge Dredd still.
Well, yeah. I mean, honestly, if you're running an event, you should have that person in place. Like straight up.
Monument Hobbies
Like,
elects me as the umpire.
yeah,
He says, easy peasy second set nominee.
there you go.
But, what do we know? We're just idiots on the internet.
Just passionate amateurs all day.
Fucking scrubs. Monument says, dude, I'll fly you out to all the events if I can get videos of any kickouts.
I'm sure there's bound to be something.
Yeah. I mean, bro, like that's the issue. Is like I resonate with the statement you made. Right? It's like people are trying to provide a good experience to their customers. So they're being a little passive about that without realizing that passivity is actually leading to a worse brand outcome, which is a perceived loss of integrity. So you have to be willing to say no to your own customers when and you have to be emboldened and confident to do that. But not everyone is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's all I got.
Yeah, that's well said. Well said. This one got me fired up. Is this it? You want me to take us out of here?
That's all I got, baby. Let's do it. Let's get the fuck out of here so I can
All
edit
right.
this
So
shit.
that's thanks everybody for watching our tough what do you want to call this? Tough knocks, hard knocks.
Hard knocks, real talk,
40K hard.
40K real talk.
40 okay, there we go. 40K real talk on the latest cheating controversy. Another week, another cheating controversy. Maybe one day we'll have to run down the top 10 most imaginative cheats out there. But today is not the day. So that's it for this one. Make sure to check out thelongwar.net and become a veteran of the Long War today.